Lieutenant Jake Morrison was flying his space fighter through the dark void when enemy ships attacked. Red lights flashed all over his control panel as laser beams hit his ship again and again. The small fighter craft shook hard with each blast. "Help! Help! This is Jake Morrison in Ship Falcon 7, he spoke into his radio. But he knew no one could hear him. The enemy weapons were blocking all radio signals. "I'm crashing on the planet below. Someone please help me." Jake looked down and saw a strange world getting closer very fast. The planet had purple ground and weird crystal trees that looked like giant needles. He tried to steer his ship toward an open area between the trees, but his engines were dying. The crash was terrible. Jake's body jerked forward hard as his ship hit the ground and slid through the purple dirt. Metal pieces flew everywhere, and his ship finally stopped when it hit some big silver rocks. White steam came out of broken pipes and electric sparks jumped from the broken computers. Jake's head hurt badly, but he checked all his ship's systems. His air supply was almost gone. Maybe he had 18 hours of air left to breathe. His emergency rescue signal was broken too. Even worse, the metal walls of his ship had bent and twisted around him. He was trapped inside like a bird in a cage. The door would not open at all. Through his cracked window, Jake could see this alien world for the first time. The sky was light green, not blue like Earth's sky. 2 small moons floated low near the horizon. Strange plants that glowed with blue light grew everywhere across the purple landscape. These plants pulsed like heartbeats, making the whole world seem alive. Jake tried to drink some water, but it tasted terrible. One of his water tanks had broken in the crash, and dirty oil had mixed with his drinking water. Now he only had enough clean water for one day. His food was still good, but there was not much of it. Fear began to fill Jake's mind. Even if someone came to rescue him, how would they find him on this huge alien world? His rescue signal was broken. His radio did not work. No one knew where he was. Jake looked at all the damage around him. The metal walls were bent inward, trapping him in his pilot seat. He tried pushing on the emergency door, but it would not move even a little bit. He was stuck. Outside his ship, the alien world was getting dark. The light green sky was turning to deep purple, and the glowing plants were getting brighter. Strange sounds came from far away. Maybe they were alien animals, or maybe just the wind blowing through the crystal trees. Jake's stomach felt empty and his mouth was very dry. He sipped a little bit of his remaining water, trying to make it last longer. He ate one small food bar, chewing it slowly. He had to be careful with his supplies. The air inside his ship was getting harder to breathe. Jake could see on his instruments that the oxygen level was dropping. With each breath, he was using up more of his precious air. Soon, there would be none left. As the first night on this alien world began, Jake felt very alone. He was millions of miles from Earth, trapped in a broken ship on a world where no human had ever been before. The silence was complete except for the soft hissing of air leaking from his damaged life support system. Jake closed his eyes and tried to stay calm. He thought about his family back on Earth. Would they ever know what happened to him? Would anyone ever find his ship on this distant world? The glowing plants outside cast strange blue shadows on his ship. In the distance, he could hear more alien sounds. Some sounded like singing, others like growling. This world was full of life, but Jake did not know if that life was friendly or dangerous. His ship's computer was still working a little bit. It showed him that the air outside was poisonous to humans. Even if he could get out of his ship, he could not breathe the alien air. He was trapped inside his metal prison, slowly running out of air. Jake tried one more time to call for help on his radio. "This is Lieutenant Jake Morrison. I crashed on an unknown planet. My ship is broken and I'm trapped inside. If anyone can hear this, please send help." But there was only silence in reply. The temperature inside his ship was getting cold. His heating system was broken too. Jake pulled his flight jacket tighter around his body. It was going to be a long, cold night. Outside, the alien world was completely dark now except for the glowing plants. The 2 moons gave off a pale light that made everything look ghostly. Jake had never felt so far from home. He leaned back in his pilot seat and tried to rest. Tomorrow he would try again to get free from his ship, but tonight all he could do was wait and hope that somehow, someone would find him before his air ran out completely. Jake closed his eyes and listened to the quiet hum of his failing life support system. Each breath might be one of his last, but he was a fighter pilot, trained to never give up. Even here, trapped and alone on an alien world, he would not stop trying to survive. The night passed slowly as Jake drifted in and out of sleep, dreaming of home and wondering if he would ever see Earth again. Jake woke up to a strange sound. Tap, tap, tap. Something was hitting the outside of his ship. His air meter showed he had less than 12 hours left to breathe. His mouth felt very dry, like sand. The tapping sound kept going. It was not random, like rocks falling. Someone or something was making this sound on purpose. Jake felt scared but also curious. Jake looked through his broken window and saw something moving in the purple bushes. A big shape was walking around his ship, but staying, hidden behind the crystal trees. Jake could not see it clearly. His hand moved to his gun, but he was trapped inside his ship. The gun would not help him much. Then the creature came out where Jake could see it. Jake stopped breathing for a moment. The thing was huge, about 7 feet tall. It walked on 4 strong legs like a horse, but also looked like a deer. Its skin was covered with shiny scales that changed colors in the alien sunlight. The most amazing thing was its eyes. They were big and smart, looking at Jake like it was trying to understand him. The alien animal came closer to Jake's ship very slowly. It moved its head to one side as it looked at all the broken metal. When it saw Jake through the window, both of them stopped moving. They stared at each other through the twisted metal and glass. Jake slowly lifted his hand with his palm open. He hoped this meant peace on this alien world too. The creature had ears that looked like long, bendable fingers. These ears twitched when Jake moved his hand. The alien made a sound that was part bird chirp and part whistle. Then it started, using its front legs to move rocks and broken metal away from Jake's ship. "What are you doing?" Jake said quietly. He watched with wonder as the alien carefully moved chunks of rock and twisted metal from around his crashed ship. It was clearly trying to help him, but Jake could not understand why. Hours went by as the creature worked without stopping. Jake's air was getting lower and lower. He started to feel dizzy and weak. The alien seemed to know Jake was in trouble. It started moving faster and making worried sounds. It pushed its face against Jake's window and made urgent chirping noises, like it was trying to tell Jake something very important. Jake tapped on the window with his finger. The creature's eyes got very wide. It started making many different chirps and whistles, then stopped like it was waiting for Jake to answer. Slowly, Jake began to understand something amazing. This was not just a dumb animal. This was a smart being trying to talk to him. Jake tapped 3 times on the window. The alien tapped back 3 times with its front leg. Jake tapped 5 times. The alien tapped back 5 times. They were communicating. The creature got very excited. It started making happy whistling sounds and dancing around on its 4 legs. Then it stopped and looked serious again. It could see that Jake was getting sicker from the bad air. Jake tried to point to his air meter to show the alien his problem. The creature looked at the meter through the window. Even though it was from another world, it seemed to understand that Jake was running out of air to breathe. The alien put its front legs on Jake's ship and made sad, worried sounds. It started working even faster to clear away the broken metal. But Jake's ship was too badly damaged. The alien could not get Jake out by itself. Jake was getting more dizzy. His head felt heavy and his eyes wanted to close. The alien could see that Jake was getting worse. It became very upset, making loud crying sounds. Then the alien did something that surprised Jake. It stood up on its back legs, lifted its head high, and made a very loud sound. The sound was like a trumpet mixed with a singing voice. It was so loud that it echoed across the whole alien landscape. The alien was calling for help. Jake tried to stay awake, but his air was almost gone. His vision was getting dark around the edges. He could barely keep his eyes open, but he could still hear that loud calling sound the alien was making. Far away, Jake heard an answer. Another alien voice called back from across the purple landscape. Then another voice answered from a different direction. The alien outside Jake's ship was not alone. There were others of its kind on this world. Jake felt a tiny bit of hope. Maybe these aliens could help him. Maybe they were smart enough to figure out how to get him out of his broken ship. Maybe he would not die alone on this strange world after all. The alien outside his ship kept calling and more voices kept answering from all around. Jake closed his eyes and tried to save his strength. Help was coming, but would it arrive in time? His air meter showed only a few hours left. As Jake drifted toward unconsciousness, he heard many alien voices getting closer. The creature that had found him was bringing its friends. Jake's last thought before passing out was that maybe, just maybe, he might survive this after all. Jake regained consciousness to find his ship's emergency air system had somehow been activated. His oxygen levels had stabilized, buying him precious additional time. Through the canopy, he could see the alien creature had returned. But it wasn't alone. 3 more of the beings had arrived, and they were working together with remarkable coordination. Using what appeared to be natural tools growing from their bodies, they were systematically cutting through the twisted metal of his cockpit. Jake realized they must have found a way to restore his ship's emergency power. The largest of the creatures, the one Jake had first encountered, approached the nearly freed cockpit opening. It extended what looked like a feeding appendage toward Jake and made gentle cooing sounds. Jake hesitated, unsure of the creature's intentions. The alien seemed to understand his fear. It withdrew slightly and instead projected a holographic image from specialized organs near its head. The image showed Jake's vital signs, somehow scanned from outside his ship, displaying dangerous levels of dehydration and malnutrition. Then the creature did something extraordinary. From glands along its neck, it began to secrete a white, milk-like substance into a natural, cup-shaped growth on its forelimb. The holographic display showed molecular diagrams that Jake's pilot training helped him interpret. The alien was demonstrating that this substance contained exactly the nutrients and proteins a human would need to survive. Jake stared in disbelief. How could this creature possibly know human biology well enough to provide compatible nourishment? The alien extended the natural cup toward him again, this time more insistently. With little choice and growing desperation, Jake carefully accepted the offering. The liquid was warm and had a slightly sweet taste, not unlike cow's milk, but with a subtle energy that seemed to spread through his body immediately. Within minutes, Jake felt stronger and more alert than he had since the crash. The alien creatures continued providing the nourishing milk throughout the day, taking turns to ensure Jake remained fed and hydrated. They also worked to fully extract him from the wreckage, using their natural tools with surgical precision. As Jake finally emerged from his damaged ship, he stood face to face with his rescuers on solid ground. The lead creature approached him, slowly and, to Jake's amazement, began to speak in broken but understandable English.
Human Jake Morrison, we help. Long time. We watch. Your people. Know you. Need help. Jake's mind reeled with questions, but he managed to ask, how do you know my language? How did you know I needed that specific nutrition? The
creature's eyes sparkled with what Jake could only interpret as amusement. We learn much about humans, study your biology, your needs. We prepare for this day. Jake spent the next few days with the Narathi while waiting for rescue. During this time, Healer and the other aliens told him amazing things that would change how humans thought about space and other life forms. The Narathi had been watching human spaceships for many years from their hidden homes on different planets. They had studied humans carefully, learning about human bodies, human languages, and human behavior. They had seen how humans explored dangerous places and helped each other when things went wrong. Your people are very brave, Healer explained to Jake as they sat around a warm fire made from the glowing alien plants. Humans go to places that kill other creatures. You survive when others die. You protect those who are weaker than you. This is why we decided to show ourselves to you. Jake learned that the Narathi were natural healers. They could look at any living creature and understand what it needed to stay healthy. Their special milk was not just food. It changed itself to match exactly what each individual needed. The milk Healer gave Jake was made specially for Jake's own body. "We have helped lost human travelers before," Healer said, "but always in secret. We would leave supplies where humans could find them. We would fix broken equipment when humans were sleeping. We would guide lost ships toward safe planets. But we never showed ourselves until now." Jake was amazed. "Why did you decide to help me differently?" Healer's eyes seemed to smile. "Because you were different, Jake Morrison. When your ship was crashing, you tried to warn others even though you knew you might die. You thought about other people even when you were in great danger. The Narathi Council decided it was time to meet humans face to face. The Narathi showed Jake their incredible abilities. They could heal cuts and burns just by touching them. They could make plants grow faster. They could even talk to the animals on their planet. But most amazing of all, they could create anything that living creatures needed to survive. We are not fighters like humans," Healer explained. "We do not explore like humans. But we can help. We can heal. We can make life better for everyone." On the 5th day, Jake heard a sound that made his heart jump with joy. The deep rumble of human rescue ships filled the alien sky. Jake's emergency signal, which the Narathi had fixed using their biotechnology, had finally reached the human space fleet. Captain Lisa Chen's rescue ship landed in the clearing that the Narathi had prepared. Jake stood next to his alien friends, no longer hiding from the humans who came to save him. Captain Chen and her team stepped out of their ship with weapons ready. They expected to find Jake alone, maybe fighting for his life. Instead, they found him healthy and standing next to 4 huge alien creatures. "Jake," Captain Chen called out. "Are you hurt? Are these aliens holding you prisoner?" Jake walked forward with his hands up to show he was safe. "Captain Chen, I'm fine. These aliens saved my life. They're friends." The first meeting between official human and Narathi representatives was tense. Captain Chen kept her hand on her weapon. Her soldiers surrounded the Narathi, ready to fight if needed. But Jake stepped between them. "Captain, these beings are called the Narathi. They've been watching us for years, helping lost humans in secret. When I crashed, they could have ignored me. Instead, they saved my life." To prove his point, Jake showed the humans how healthy he was. He had been trapped and dying just days before, but now he was strong and alert. He showed them the natural cup that still held some of the life-giving alien milk. "They gave me exactly what my body needed to survive," Jake explained. "They studied human biology and created this milk specially for me. Without them, I would be dead." Captain Chen slowly relaxed. She holstered her weapon and approached Healer carefully. "Can you understand me?" she asked. Healer nodded. "Yes, Captain Chen. We learn your language by listening to your radio signals. We understand humans better than you might think." The captain's eyes went wide with surprise. "You've been listening to our communications?" "Only to learn," Healer said, gently. "We wanted to understand your people. We wanted to know if humans would be good friends or dangerous enemies. We decided you would be good friends." Over the next few hours, more human ships arrived. Scientists and diplomats came down to the planet to meet the Narathi. Jake served as translator and peacemaker, helping both sides understand each other. The Narathi offered humanity something wonderful. They wanted to share their healing knowledge with humans. They could help human explorers survive in dangerous places. They could heal diseases that human doctors could not cure. They could help grow food on planets where nothing would normally live. In return, the Narathi wanted to learn from humans. They admired human courage and curiosity. They wanted to see the galaxy through human eyes. They hoped that together, humans and Narathi could make the galaxy a safer, better place for all living creatures. Before Jake left the planet with the rescue team, Healer gave him a special gift. Using its bioengineering abilities, the alien created a small container filled with the same life-giving milk that had saved Jake's life. "Take this to your scientists on Earth," Healer said. "Let them study it. Let them learn how we help each other. This milk is proof that different kinds of life can work together." Jake accepted the gift with deep gratitude. As his rescue ship lifted off from the purple landscape, he looked down at the Narathi settlement below. He knew this moment would be remembered forever as the day humans made their first real alien friends. The container of alien milk was stored safely in the ship's science section. On Earth, human scientists would study it and discover amazing things. The Narathi milk contained substances that could help humans live longer, heal faster, and survive in space better than ever before. But for Jake, the milk meant something more personal. It represented the moment when two completely different kinds of life looked past their differences and chose to help each other. Jake's survival story became famous throughout human space. It led to the Human-Narathi Friendship Treaty, opening a new chapter in galactic history. This treaty showed that strength was not just about weapons and technology. True strength came from the willingness to help others no matter how different they might be. Jake Morrison had crashed as a lone pilot on a hostile world. He returned to Earth as an ambassador for a new kind of relationship between species. The alien milk had saved more than just his life. It had created a bridge between humans and Narathi that would benefit both species for generations to come. The galaxy was vast and often dangerous, but now humans knew they were not alone. They had friends among the stars, friends who would help them survive and grow, just as humans would help their new allies in return. End of story. 6 months after Jake's rescue, everything had changed. The small container of Narathi milk that Jake brought back to Earth had created a revolution in human science and medicine. Earth's best scientists worked day and night to understand the amazing liquid that had saved Jake's life. Dr. Maria Santos, the head scientist at the Earth Space Medical Center, called Jake to her laboratory one morning. Jake had become famous across all human worlds as the man who made first contact with friendly aliens, but he was still a simple pilot at heart. "Jake, you need to see this," Dr. Santos said, her eyes bright with excitement. She led him to a room, full of computers and medical equipment. "The Narathi milk is not just food. It's like a miracle medicine." She showed Jake test results on her computer screen. The milk could heal wounds 3 times faster than any human medicine. It could cure diseases that had killed millions of humans. It could even help humans live longer and stay healthy in the dangerous radiation of space. But the most amazing thing, Dr. Santos continued, is that the milk learns. When we put it near sick human cells, it changes itself to cure exactly that sickness. It's like the milk is alive and wants to help. Jake felt proud and amazed. His alien friends had given humanity a gift beyond anything they could have imagined. But Jake also felt worried. He knew that some humans would want to use this gift for war instead of healing. "What are we going to do with this knowledge?" Jake asked. Dr. Santos smiled. "That's why you're here, Jake. The government wants you to go back to the Narathi. They want you to negotiate a formal trade agreement." 3 weeks later, Jake found himself back on the Purple Planet where he had crashed. But this time he came in a diplomatic ship with a team of human ambassadors, scientists, and trade experts. The Narathi had built a beautiful meeting place near the crash site, with buildings that looked like they had grown from the ground instead of being built. Healer greeted Jake like an old friend. The alien scales shimmered with happy colors when it saw Jake walking toward the Narathi settlement. "Jake Morrison returns," Healer said in English that was much better than before. "We are glad to see you healthy and strong." "I'm glad to see you too, my friend," Jake replied. "I brought some people who want to meet you and learn about your amazing abilities." The negotiations lasted for days. The humans wanted to learn how to make the healing milk. The Narathi wanted to learn about human technology and exploration methods. Both sides had to work hard to understand each other's needs and fears. Some of the human diplomats were suspicious. They worried that the Narathi might be hiding dangerous secrets. Some of the Narathi were worried too. They feared that humans might use their healing gifts to make weapons. Jake found himself in the middle, helping both sides trust each other. He told the humans about how gently the Narathi had treated him when he was helpless. He told the Narathi about how humans always tried to help each other in times of trouble. During one difficult meeting, a human diplomat named Mr. Richards stood up angrily. "How do we know these aliens won't attack us later? How do we know this? Isn't all a trick?" Before Jake could answer, Healer did something that surprised everyone. The alien reached into a pouch on its side and pulled out a small, sick animal that looked like a purple rabbit. The animal was clearly dying, barely breathing. Healer gently held the animal and produced some of its healing milk. Within minutes of drinking the milk, the animal was running around healthy and happy. Then Healer looked at Mr. Richards. "This is what we do," Healer said simply. "We heal. We help life grow. We do not know how to hurt others. It is not in our nature." Mr. Richards sat down slowly, his anger replaced by wonder. Everyone in the room understood that the Nurathi were exactly what they claimed to be: natural healers who wanted to help all living things. The breakthrough came when Dr. Santos had an idea. "What if we don't try to copy your milk?" she asked the Nurathi. "What if instead, some of your people come to live with us, and some of our people come to live with you? We can help each other directly." Healer's eyes lit up with excitement. "Yes, we learn from each other. Humans teach us to explore. We teach humans to heal. Together we make the galaxy better for everyone." The final agreement was simple but revolutionary. The Nurathi would establish healing centers on human worlds, staffed by Nurathi healers who would help sick and injured humans. In return, humans would take Nurathi explorers to see new worlds and stars, satisfying the aliens' growing curiosity about the galaxy. Jake was chosen to lead the first joint human-Nurathi exploration mission. His ship would carry both human crew members and Nurathi healers to explore dangerous new worlds. If anyone got hurt or sick, the Nurathi could heal them. If they found new life forms, the humans could study them while the Nurathi made sure they were not harmed. On the day Jake prepared to leave for his new mission, Healer gave him another gift. It was a living plant that could produce small amounts of healing milk. The plant would grow on Jake's ship and provide emergency medicine for his crew. "This plant is connected to our home world," Healer explained. "As long as it lives, you will always have a link to the Nurathi. You will never be truly alone in the galaxy again." Jake accepted the plant with tears in his eyes. 6 months ago, he had been a lone pilot crashing on a hostile world. Now he was the captain of the first mixed-species exploration crew in human history. As Jake's new ship lifted off from the purple planet, he looked down at the Nurathi settlement one more time. But this time, he was not leaving his alien friends behind. 3 Nurathi healers were on his ship, ready to explore the galaxy with their human partners. In the ship's medical bay, the healing plant sat in a special container, its blue flowers glowing softly. Next to it was a small photo of Jake's crash site where a memorial had been built to mark the place where humans and Nurathi first became friends. Jake's survival story had grown into something much bigger than anyone had imagined. It had become the foundation for a new kind of civilization, where different species worked together instead of fighting each other. The galaxy was still vast and dangerous. There were still hostile aliens, deadly planets, and unknown threats waiting in the darkness between stars. But now humans faced these challenges with allies who could heal any wound and mend any broken spirit. As Jake's ship jumped into hyperspace toward their first joint mission, he thought about the alien milk that had saved his life. It had been more than just food or medicine. It had been the first gift between 2 species that would change the galaxy forever.